Welcome to another tutorial. So in this tutorial we are basically looking at how do we actually flip the images, and we will also be looking on to how do we capture the videos, or how can we basically read the videos in OpenCV. So first let's actually look on to how do we actually flip the images. So for that we actually need to import our library as we did in our previous tutorial. We need to import CV2, which is actually the OpenCV, and it's written as CV2 in Python. So for that we again need to read an image. So let's read the image, imread, and I'm now going to pass the path for it. So let's say that I have a image right there. Let's use the previous one. Let me just find it. Okay, so there I have the JPG file. So I just need to copy the path there and paste it onto your. Okay, so let me just give double slash. Once you give there, it should actually not throw you an error. And then finally what you do is that you to write the name of the image, right? So name of our image was person dot jpg. Now let me check if it is correct. Okay, so that is the person dot jpg. All right, so now what we have done is that we have actually set the path for the image, and now we need to actually just print the image. It is not necessary. I just need to check the matrix. It gives you a sort of pixel values of it. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to actually flip this image, right? So I'm going to actually show this image onto my window, which is original. Within that I'm going to show my image 1. So that is actually your windows, right? It appears in the windows of original. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to flip the video, right? Or sorry, I'm going to flip the image. So for that what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to write image1 equals to, okay, let me just cut this line for now. First let me flip my image. All right, so for that I just need to do cv2.flip, right? So cv2.flip, it actually flips your images, and then you just need to write your image1 and then 0. So the 0 actually takes 3 values. It accepts 3 parameters. The flip one accept parameters as 1, -1 and 0. So we will look individually that what each of these indexes will do, right? Once we have done this, now we move on to our other line of code. Now we will actually use the imshow function to actually show our function, right? So it will actually, so here let's name the windows as original and then give the name of the image. And for that we again need to use the wait key as I told previously. Put the value as 0, right? And then finally destroy all windows. Let's check if this runs or not. It should actually flip my image, right? So it's let's check out what our image looks like. Okay, it's look something like this, right? So our original image, it looks something like this. So actually this code should flip my image. So actually not responding. Okay, let me just check on here. Okay, so I have forget to write your wait, so it's actually wait key. If you throw this, you will actually run into an error. You will again need to restart the kernel like this. Now for restarting the kernel, what you need to do is to just go on your this cross type, just click on this cross button. It will actually restart your kernel. So whenever you restart the kernel, actually all the variables are deleted there. So you can see all the variables are deleted. Now let's try to run this. Hopefully it should flip my image. Okay, there you see that it has successfully flipped my image off, right? Now as I told that it accepts your 3 parameters, that is 1, -1 and 0. Let's actually flip and give you a -1 and let's see what changes it occurs. Okay, first let's make this and then run this. Okay, so it's actually, you can see it has flipped, like face was previously onto the right side, now this seems kind of flipped, right? Seems quite different from the first one. Now what if I have already passed here 0 firstly? What if I pass here 1? So if I pass here 1, so there you go, that showing you a proper image, right? So this actually flip actually accepts your three parameters, which is 1, -1 and 0. So if you type a 0, it actually flips, and then -1 flips onto the right side of it. So this is how actually you flip the images on using the OpenCV. You just need to import this function, which is cv2.flip, and which accepts three parameters, that is 1, -1 and 0. Image1 is the name of my image which I am flipping, and this actually imshow originally is actually the windows, which we also talked about in the previous tutorial. Now what I'm going to teach you is that I'm going to show you how to we actually read the videos in OpenCV, right? Let me comment down this, and let's go on how do we read the videos, right? How do we actually read the videos using OpenCV? So I just created a video here, a sample video. Okay, that is my video, right? So how do I actually use my OpenCV to actually work through this video? So I need to play my video using OpenCV, and how do I do that? So let's learn that. For that, I again need to import my CV2. For that, let's again restart our kernel. Well, that is not a necessity, but it actually clears all your variable explorer, right? And that is the reason why I love to do it. So that is import CV2, that is importing the OpenCV, right? And for capturing the video, you need to actually, I have assigned a variable called as cap, which will store my video captured. And for capturing videos, I have this command, which is cv2.video capture, right? This video capture, right? And what does this do is that it captures my videos. Now for capturing the video, which video should it capture? I need to actually specify the path for that, right? So to specify the path, I write like this. I can go on, copy the path. Actually, I doubt if it is already copied. Well, there's no any problem in copying it once more. And now finally what I'm going to give here is that I'm going to give the name of my video. So my name of video is sample, and the file format of it, so it's in mp4 format, so it's sample.mp4, right? So let me just extend this a bit so that it looks kind of fine. Okay, so what I have done in the previous images also, if you see here, we actually again copy the path of the video. Similar thing is what we are doing here. We actually copy the path of the video, right? We actually in above we capture the path of the image, and this we capture the path of the video and give the path of the video. You can see that. Okay, so now once you do this, now let's move on to our third step. Now what we are going to do is that we are going to print this capture, right? So what we are going to do is we're going to print this cap, right? We are going to print this capture and pass this particular capture variable, right? So let's try to run this. So it's actually working fine, pretty fine. You can see that it's video capture object of CV2 module. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to capture the video, right? So for that, what I will do is that I will use the while condition. So while using the this while loop, it will actually run through my video frames, right? So video is what? It's nothing but the movement of the frames, right? Of movement of images is called as video, right? So what I will do is that I will use the while condition. So while true is actually a boolean condition, I will write this particular line, read frame equal to capture dot read. Now it will read my image, right? If you see it is actually reading my image. So whatever video is there, whatever images are there in the video, it will actually read a particular frames of it. Each of the frames it will read there, and ret is equal to, it's actually a boolean value, right? It's actually a boolean value. So whenever the condition is true, it actually runs through whole the video, right? And whenever the video finishes, it actually stops. So that is the meaning of ret, right? It's actually ret, and it's actually a boolean one. Let me also write the in the comment section. So ret is boolean, and frame is actually, everyone has know that frame is present in the images, right? So it's actually captures the images and read your images. This cap.read actually reads the image, right? So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show the frames, right? So for that I need to type a frame, and I'm going to show each frame. So I need to write it like this, cv.imshow frame and frame. So this actually reads each of my frame. Now I am again going to pass the wait key, right? So I'm going to pass the wait key. So for how much long does my video needs to play. So this actually is delay, right? So delay is nothing but your FPS, so you can say frame per second. So if you like, it needs to be like 20. it looks to be more than 20, right? So let's keep it as 25. It means that how fast your video is, right? So if you keep it really slow, low, your video actually runs pretty fast. Now if you go on to higher values of it, your video will play normally, but like the optimal value for it is above 20. So let's keep it as 25. Now whatever I have captured this, I actually need to release this, right? I actually need to release my frames. What does this do? That it reads my frames, right? This particular line read my frame, so I need to actually release my frame. So for that I have this command, which is capture.release, cap.release, right? This will actually release the frames which I have captured, right? And again, finally, what I'm going to write is cv2.destroy all windows, so that once my videos gets over, it will destroy all windows. Okay, hopefully this will run. Let's try it. Okay, run. Okay, so there you see it is playing my video, right? So the problem with this is that if you try to cut this down, if you try to cut this, it won't, and lately it will also hang, right? So that is the problem with that. So I will tell you how to fix it. You can see that it is not closing. You need to forcefully close it by actually restarting your kernel again. So that's problems happen. It will happen with you also, so don't worry. So now I will restart my kernel. So let's actually first look on that how do we actually resize, because that was a pretty big video, right? So firstly what I will need to do is that I will actually need to resize my frame, right? So my resizing of frame is needed to be done. You can see that it is not responding lately. Okay, hopefully it should be fine. Okay, now it's fine. So what I will do now is that I will actually resize my frame. Okay, so for resizing I will again use the same thing. So I will use frame, I will resize my frame, so I will use cv2 dot resize. Okay, resize my frame. Okay, let's keep the width and height like 700 and 450. That should work fine. If I run this again the same error will happen. This will actually run, but as I showed you that it will hang, right? It will cause a disturbance in your system, and therefore you need to actually restart your kernel, right? So how do we actually manage this? How do we handle this particular error? So for that, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna write simple set of keys here. So let's see what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna now simply assign this cv2.wait key into a variable. Okay, I'm gonna assign this to a variable. I'm just gonna assign this to a variable. Okay, k equal to cv2.wait key. I'm assigning it into a variable. Now what I will write is if k equal to ord. Ord, you can see that it returns the Unicode code point for a 1 character string, right? So the meaning of it is, I will tell you simply. So let's type any words s and finally break it. So what these lines will do is that it will actually, like whenever the video is running, and then if I press s, it will actually stop my video. That is, it will break the frame rates, right? It will actually break the frame rates. Or you can say that if my video is running, it will actually break the loop, because if you skip this line, you can see that it's actually running through the, okay, it's actually okay, and now it's fine. So if you see actually that it's capturing my frames every moment, and it's showing to me, right? So basically what does it will do is that if k equal to ord, now if I type any character, you can keep anything, right? You can type q, s, t, anything you want to. So for my convenience I've kept it s. You can keep it anything you want to. Now what will happen is that when I press this s, the video will stop and it won't hang a computer. And the second thing which I have done is that I have resized my frame. So for frame, you need to actually resize it like this. So it will actually resize the width and height. Resize the width and height of the video, right? So yeah, so let's try to run this now, and then let's see if we press S, and then it will stop now. So there my video is playing. You can see actually the high width and height is pretty good. Now if I want to stop it, I will just press S. Okay, you can see that it has not hanged, right? It didn't show any discontinuity. So yeah, that is how you work with it. Okay.